Hello and welcome to Elecspo, and the worst award you can win as a footballer is the most improved player. It's something that gets thrown around every youth team and it basically tells the recipient that they're a little bit less rubbish than they were before. So with that in mind, here is every Premier League club's most improved player on FIFA 21. To do this, we're looking at which players had the biggest ratings increase since last year's game, but we're only looking at players who were at the club at the start of FIFA 20. So for example, I couldn't care less about how much better Ollie Watkins or Timothy Castagne have got. Understand? Good, let's go. Actually, before we start, if you're new to the channel, why don't you hit the subscribe button and maybe even the bell to ensure you never miss a video. Go on, I won't tell anyone. Then after this you can go back and watch all the Elecspo videos. Anyway, now let's go. Arsenal, Bukayo Saka. An easy one to start off with. Bukayo Saka is obviously Arsenal's most improved player, mainly because 12 months ago no one really knew who he was and wondered why this kid with the number 77 on his back was getting in the Arsenal team ahead of Mesut Ozil. People thought Unai Emery was mad, and to some extent they had a point, but he saw the potential Saka had and helped him on his way early on last season. Fast forward 12 months and Saka was quite an important player under Arteta, wearing the number 7 shirt and seeing his FIFA rating increase by 10 from 65 to 75. Aston Villa, Matt Targett and Courtney House. We've got a double header here, with two Villa players going up by 4 since FIFA 20. The men in question are Matt Targett and Courtney House, which you already know because I told you that at the start. We've spoke about Courtney House before, but fair play to Matt Targett, who's now a 76, and he just strikes you as a nice lad, doesn't he? One your ground would like, he's got a nice face. Brighton, Steven Alzate. Probably the only Colombian international born in London, Steven Alzate is a curious character, and a lad who started to play a lot more this season following Aaron Moyes' exit to China. On the last FIFA you wouldn't go near him, you'd rather start with 10 men, but this year he's on the up, with a ratings increase of 12. Alzate's gone from a 56 to a 68 and will likely keep increasing if he continues to impress under Graham Potter. Burnley, Dwight McNeil. At what point do we stop calling Dwight McNeil underrated and just accept that he's a top quality Premier League player? His delivery's so good he must have been a postman in a former life and he can still get even better. But he's perfect for Burnley right now and has seen his rating go up by 4 from 74 to 78. Chelsea, Billy Gilmour. Oh, little Billy Gilmour. If he wasn't a footballer, he'd be roaming the streets of Glasgow with a bottle of Buckfast, taking the piss out of Celtic fans after his Rangers team won the latest Old Firm. But he's actually Chelsea's most improved player, with some great performances last season for the Blues despite being about 5 years old. I mean, he was even making Liverpool look ordinary, that's how good he was on the ball. He's injured at the minute, but he's one to check out in FIFA 21, with his rating going up by 9 to make him a 71. Crystal Palace, Joel Ward. Well, this is a shock, isn't it? You'd expect the most improved player to be someone at the start of their career, someone young and up and coming, not 30-year-old Joel Ward. But whatever, he's Palace's most improved player with a ratings increase of 3 and now making him a 76. Well, he wins it by default, as Tyreek Mitchell has actually gone up by more, but he didn't join FIFA 20 until the January update, and that's not the rule I said at the start, was it? Sorry Tyreek, but at least you know deep down in your heart you were the actual winner. Everton, John Joe Kenny. For Everton we've got a player who actually spent last season away from Goodison Park, but the returning low name was so good at Schalke that he returns as their most improved player. The local lad did well in Germany despite Schalke's poor overall performance and saw his rating go up from 3 to 76, just like his hero Joel Ward. Fulham, Marek Rodak. Fulham's most improved player is a goalkeeper, and a man that played an important role en route to promotion, so important that he's been binned off as soon as they reached the Premier League and replaced him by a much fancier and flashier Alphonse Areola. But Rodak is still Fulham's most improved, with his performances resulting in a rating going up from 70 to 74. Leeds United, Stuart Dallas. I very nearly called him Mark Dallas there, a man who only wrestling fans will know, so let's move on. It's Stuart Dallas who's Leeds' most improved player, going up by 5 after helping Leeds go from Championship regulars to once again being a Premier League club. Dallas is a man who epitomised the impact Bielsa's had at Ellen Road and has seen his rating go from 68 to 73. Leicester City, Caglar Soyuncu. It's no surprise that Soyuncu is Leicester's most improved player. When they sold Harry Maguire last summer, no one knew they already had their replacement, with the Lord Farquaad lookalike immediately proving he could fill the void left by old Slabhead. He did so well he's now an 80 on FIFA 21, an increase of 6 from last year's game. Liverpool, Nathaniel Phillips. For the Champions we've got a player we might be seeing a bit more of in the coming months. Nathaniel Phillips was on loan at Stuttgart last season, but he stuck around at Liverpool this year and might be needed now that Virgil van Dijk's out injured. If he impresses, his rating will probably go up even more, and he's Liverpool's most improved player with an increase of 7 from 61 to 68, which I'm surprised by. Like, how's Curtis Jones not the most improved? The man scores wonder goals in his sleep. Manchester City, Eric Garcia. Okay, I've got a bit of controversy here that I need you to settle. is Manchester City's most improved player Eric Garcia, who's gone up 6 from 66 to 72 after some impressive appearances in a City shirt, including one where Edison tried to kill him. Or is City's most improved player Yangel Herrera, who's gone up 7 from 68 to 75, but spent last season out on loan and is once again out on loan. I'll let you decide. Either way, both of them have done well. Man United, Mason Greenwood. No controversy here, of course Mason Greenwood is Man United's most improved player. The forward had a fantastic breakout year that ended with him being awarded the famous number 11 shirt at Old Trafford. He's an incredible finisher and his rating on FIFA has gone up by 10. He's gone from 67 to 77 and it won't be long before he's in the 80s. Newcastle United, Matty Longstaff. Anything Mason Greenwood can do, Matty Longstaff can kind of do too. The ginger midfielder's also seen his rating increase by 10 and that's mainly because his breakout season can be summed up by 2 goals against Man United. The first was something out of a Hollywood film, under the bright lights at St James's Park, Premier League debut, starting alongside his older brother, banging home the winner in front of the Gallagher. Beautiful stuff, and his rating has increased from 62 to a surprisingly high 72. Sheffield United, John Lundstram. The man who saved all our fantasy teams last season is Sheffield United's most improved player, with Lundstram's incredible performances from midfield forcing his rating to go up by 9 and making it 76 on FIFA 21. It's just a shame fantasy football doesn't recognise him as a defender anymore. But then again, it doesn't seem like the Blazers know how to keep clean sheets nowadays. Southampton, Michael Obafemi. Southampton's most improved player is young striker Michael Obafemi, who's seen his rating go up by 6 over the past 12 months. Obafemi's on the rise, and will no doubt be relishing the chance to learn from the red-hot Danny Ings right now. Tottenham, Japhet Tanganga. A name that Jose Mourinho knows how to say really well, Japhet Tanganga's emergence last season has led to him being Tottenham's most improved player. Like Obafemi's rating's gone up by 6, with the defender now into the 70s with a 71. However, it'll be interesting to see what more opportunity he gets this season. West Brom, Grady Diangana. Christ, West Ham balls this up, didn't they? They had a star in the ranks and they sold him. But Diangana did well on loan at the Hawthorns last season and is now a permanent baggy, which means that I include him in this video, and of course he's West Brom's most improved player with a ratings increase of 5. West Ham United, Ben Johnson. I'll be honest, I don't really know much about West Ham's most improved player. Ben Johnson was a 55 on FIFA 20, but nowadays he's 62, with an increase of 7 putting him at the top of the pile. He's made a handful of Premier League appearances for the Hammers, and a quick look at his Wikipedia page tells me that he's Ledley King's cousin. Christ, I hope his knees are in better nick. And finally Wolves, Pedro Neto. As always we end with Wolves, and there were a few contenders for most improved. First it was Raul Jimenez with 4, then it was Adama Traore with 5, but to win it at the death was Pedro Neto with 6, a man who's going to keep improving more and more with the departure of Diogo Jota. He's got potential to reach 83 on FIFA 21, although he's a great player to have already if only for his pace. So there we have it, there's every Premier League club's most improved player on FIFA 21. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Elecspo, and until next time we will see you around.